I'd like to extend my greetings by saying to all of you, Assalamu alaikum,
Walaikum
and
assalam.
Ramadan Mubarak.
Ramadan
Of course,
Kareem.
we are on Surah 27, that's Surah Nama, Ayat 60. So those of you who were not with us on yesterday, that's where we left off at, Surah 27, verse 60, that's Surah Nama, Ayat 60. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala khatamil mursalina Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa man tabi'ahum bi ihsanin ila yawmiddin. Ayat 60. Or who has created the heavens and the earth, and who sends you down rain from the sky? Yea, with it we cause to grow well-planted orchards full of beauty and delight. It is not in your power to cause the growth of the trees in them. Can there be another God besides Allah? Nay, they are people who swerve from justice. Or who has made the earth firm to live in, made rivers in its midst, set there on mountains immovable, and made a separating bar between the two bodies of flowing water? Can there be another God besides Allah? Nay, most of them know not. Or who listens to the soul's distress when it calls on him? Or who relieves its suffering and makes you, mankind, inheritors of the earth? Can there be another God besides Allah? Little it is that ye heed. Or who guides you through the depths of darkness on land and sea? Who sends the rain as heralds of glad tidings going before his mercy? Can there be another God besides Allah? High is Allah above what they associate with him. Or who originates the creation, then repeats it? And who gives you sustenance from heaven and earth? Can there be another God besides Allah? Say, bring forth your argument if you're telling the truth. Say, none in the heavens or on earth, except Allah knows what is hidden, nor can they perceive when they shall be raised up for judgment. Still less can their knowledge comprehend the hereafter. Nay, they are in doubt and uncertainty therein. Nay, they are blind thereunto. The unbelievers say, what? When we become dust, we and our fathers, shall we really be raised from the dead? It is true, we were promised this, we and our fathers before us. These are nothing but tales of the ancient. Say, go ye through the earth and see what has been the end of those guilty of sin. But grieve not over them, nor distress thyself because of their plots. They also say, when will this promise come to pass? Say it if you're truthful. Say, it may be that some of the events which ye wish to hasten on may be close in your pursuit. But verily, thy Lord is full of grace to mankind, yet most of them are ungrateful. And verily thy Lord knoweth all that their hearts do hide, as well as all that they reveal. Nor is there aught of the unseen in heaven or earth, but is recorded in a clear record. Verily this Qur'an doth explain to the children of Israel most of the matters in which they disagree. And it certainly is a guide and mercy to those who believe. Verily thy Lord will decide between them by his decree, and he is exalted in might, all-knowing. So put thy trust in Allah, for thou art on the path of manifest truth. Truly thou canst not cause the dead to listen, nor canst thou cause the deaf to hear the call, especially when they turn back and retreat. Nor canst thou be a guide to the blind to prevent them from straying. Only those wilt thou get to listen who believe in our signs, and they will bow in Islam. And when the word is fulfilled against them, the unjust, we shall produce from the earth a beast to face them. He will speak to them, for that mankind did not believe with assurance in our signs. One day, we shall gather together from every people a troop of those who reject our signs, and they shall be kept in ranks, until when they come before the judgment seat. Allah will say, did ye reject my signs, though ye comprehended them not in knowledge? Or what was it ye did? And the word will be fulfilled against them because of their wrongdoing, and they will be unable to speak and plead. See they not that we have made the night for them to rest in, and the day to give them light? Verily in this are signs for any people that believe. And the day that the trumpet will be sounded, then will be smitten with terror those who are in the heavens and those who are on earth, except such as Allah will please to exempt. And all shall come to his presence as beings conscious of their lowliness. Thou seest the mountains and thinkest them firmly fixed, but they shall pass away as the clouds pass away. Such is the artistry of Allah, who disposes of all things in perfect order, for he is well acquainted with all that ye do. If any do good, good will accrue to them therefrom, and they will be secure from terror that day. And if any do evil, their faces will be thrown headlong into the fire. Do ye receive a reward other than that which ye have earned by your deeds? For me, I have been commanded to serve the Lord of this city, him who has sanctified it and to whom belong all things. And I am commanded to be of those who bow in Islam to Allah's will, and rehearse the Qur'an, and if any accept guidance, they do it for the good of their own souls. And if any stray, say, I am only a warner, and say, praise be to Allah, who will soon show you his signs so that you shall know them. And thy Lord is not unmindful of all that ye do. Introduction to Surah Qasas. Brother Jamel, come help Dr. Mansour, please, upstairs. Commentary 173, Surah Qasas, chapter 28. Allah's apostles are men and win through good life by Allah's grace and their faith. So Moses was saved from the tyrant's wrath and infancy, and reared in the tyrant's own den, but gently in a mother's love. In youth was he endowed with wisdom and knowledge, strength, and the will to do right. In sorrow or misfortune, he trusted Allah and opened his heart to him. In self-imposed exile, he won love by his chivalry and confidence by truth. In his mission, he triumphed over arrogance, wrong by his meekness, patience, and faith. So good follows good, and evil must fall, cursed, loathed, disgraced, and despised. Qasas, or the narration. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. Ta, Sin, Mim. These are verses of the book that makes things clear. We rehearse to these some of the stories of Moses and Pharaoh in truth for people who believe. Truly, Pharaoh elated himself in the land and broke up his people into sections, depressing a small group among them. Their sons he slew, but he kept alive their females, for he was indeed a maker of mischief. And we wish to be gracious to those who are being depressed in the land, to make them leaders in faith and make them heirs, to establish a firm place for them in the land, and to show Pharaoh, Haman, and their host at their hands the very things against which they were taking precautions. So we sent this inspiration to the mother of Moses: suckle thy child, but when thou hast fears about him, cast him into the river. But fear not nor grieve, for we shall restore him to thee, and we shall make him one of our apostles. Then the people of Pharaoh picked him up from the river. It was intended that Moses should be to them an adversary and a cause of sorrow, for Pharaoh and Haman and all their hosts were men of sin. The wife of Pharaoh said, here is the joy of the hour, for me and for thee. Slay him not. It may be that he will be of use to us, or we may adopt him as a son. And they perceived not what they were doing. But there came to be a void in the heart of the mother of Moses. She was going almost to disclose his case, had we not strengthened her heart with faith, so that she might remain a firm believer. And she said to the sister of Moses, follow him. So she, the sister, watched him in the character of a stranger they knew not. And we ordained that he refused suck at first, until his sister came up and said, shall I point out to you the people of the house that will nourish and bring him up for you and be sincerely attached to him? Thus did we restore him to his mother, that her eyes might be comforted, that she might not grieve, and that she might know that the promise of Allah is true. But most of them do not understand. When he reached full age and was firmly established in life, we bestowed on him wisdom and knowledge, for thus do we reward those who do good. And he entered the city at a time when his people were not watching, and he found there two men fighting, one of his own religion and the other of his foes. Now, the man of his own religion appealed to him against his foe, and Moses struck him with his fist and made an end of him. He said, "This is a work of evil Shaitan, for he is an enemy that manifestly misleads." He prayed, "Oh my Lord, I have indeed wronged my soul. Do thou then forgive me?" So Allah forgave him, for he is the oft forgiving, most merciful. He said, "Oh my Lord, for that thou hast bestowed thy grace on me, never shall I be a help to those who sin." So he saw the morning in the city looking about in a state of fear, when behold, the man who had the day before sought his help called aloud for his help again. Moses said to him, "Thou art truly, it's clear, a quarrelsome fellow." Then when he decided to lay hold of the man who was an enemy to both of them, that man said, "O Moses, is it thy intention to slay me as thou slewest a man yesterday? Thy intention is none other than to become a powerful, violent man in the land, and to be one who sets things right." And there came a man running from the furthest end of the city. He said, "O Moses, the chiefs are taking counsel together about thee to slay thee. So get thee away, for I do give thee sincere advice." He therefore got away therefrom, looking about in a state of fear. He prayed, "O my Lord, save me from people given to wrongdoing." Then when he turned his face towards the land of Madian, he said, "I do hope that my Lord will show me the smooth and straight path." And when he arrived at the watering place in Madian, he found there a group of men watering their flocks. And beside them he found 2 women who were keeping back their flocks. He said, "What is the matter with you?" They said, "We cannot water our flocks until the shepherds take back their flocks, and our father is a very old man." So he watered their flocks for them. Then he turned back to the shade and said, "O my Lord, truly am I in desperate need of any good that thou dost send me." Afterwards, one of the damsels came back to him, walking bashfully. She said, "My father invites thee that he may reward thee for having watered our flocks for us." So when he came to him and narrated the story, he said, "Fear thou not, well hast thou escaped from unjust people." Said one of the damsels, "O my dear father, engage him on wages. Truly, the best of men for thee to employ is the man who is strong and trusted." He said, "I intended to wed one of these my daughters to thee on conditions that thou serve me for 8 years. But if thou complete 10 years, it will be grace from thee. But I intend not to place thee under a difficulty. Thou wilt find me indeed, if Allah wills, one of the righteous." He said, "Be that the agreement between me and thee, whichever the 2 terms I fulfill, let there be no ill will to me. Be Allah witness to what we say." Now, when Moses had fulfilled the term and was traveling with his family, he perceived a fire in the direction of Mount Tur. He said to his family, "Tarry ye, I perceive a fire. I hope to bring you from there some information or a burning firebrand that ye may warm yourselves." But when he came to the fire, a voice was heard from the right bank of the valley, from a tree in hollow ground. "O Moses, verily I am Allah, the Lord of the worlds. Now do thou throw thy rod." But when he saw it moving of his own accord as if it had been a snake, he turned back and retraced not his steps. "O Moses," it said, "draw near and fear not, for thou art of those who are secure. Move thy hand into thy bosom, and it will come forth white without stain or harm. And draw thy hand close to thy side to guard against fear. Those are the 2 credentials from thy Lord to Pharaoh and his chiefs. For truly they are a people rebellious and wicked." He said, "O my Lord, I have slain a man among them, and I fear lest they slay me. And my brother Aaron, he is more eloquent in speech than I, so send him with me as a helper to confirm and strengthen me, for I fear that they may accuse me of falsehood." He said, "We will certainly strengthen thy arm through thy brother, and invest you both with authority, so they shall not be able to touch you. With our signs shall you triumph, you 2 as well as those who follow you." When Moses came to them with our clear signs, they said, "This is nothing but sorcery faked up. Never did we hear the like among our fathers of old." Moses said, my Lord knows best who it is that comes with guidance from him, and whose end will be best in the hereafter. Certain it is that the wrongdoers will not prosper." Pharaoh said, "O chiefs, no God do I know for you but myself. Therefore, O Haman, light me a kiln and to bake bricks out of clay, and build me a lofty palace that I may mount up to the God of Moses. But as far as I'm concerned, I think Moses is a liar." was arrogant and insolent in the land beyond reason. He and his host. They thought they would not have to return to us. So we seized them and his host, and we flung them into the sea. Now, behold, what was the end of those who did wrong? And we made them but leaders inviting to the fire. And on the day of judgment no help shall they find. In this world we made a curse to follow them, and on the day of judgment they will be among the loathed and the despised. Commentary 174. As with Moses, so with the Apostle Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Revelation was given to him by which he knew and understood and led men and was kind. He was a mercy to men, sent by Allah to warn those in sin, and by precept and example to bring the light to their very doors. Those we had spiritual eyes rejoiced and walked in Allah's ancient way, now reopened, valuing the things of the Spirit as Allah's own gifts, to be their possessions forever. We did reveal to Moses the book after we had destroyed the earlier generations, to give insight to men and guidance and mercy, that they might receive admonition. Thou wast not on the western side when we decreed the commission to Moses, nor wast thou in witness of those events. But we raised up new generations, and long were the ages that passed over them. For thou wast not a dweller among the people of Madian, rehearsing our signs to them, but as we who send apostles with inspiration. Nor wast thou at the side of the mountain of Tur when we called to Moses, yet art thou sent as a mercy from thy Lord, to give warning to a people to whom no warner had come before thee, in order that they may receive admonition. If we had not sent thee to the Quraysh, in case a calamity should seize them for the deeds that their hands have sent forth, they might say, O Lord, why didst thou not to send us an apostle? We should then have followed the signs that have been amongst those who believe. But now, when the truth has come to them from ourselves, they say, why are not signs sent to him like those which were sent to Moses? Do they not then reject the signs which were formerly sent to Moses? They say, two kinds of sorcery, each assisting the other. And they say, for us we reject all such things. Say, then bring me a book from Allah which is better guide than either of them, that I may follow it. Do it if you're truthful. But if they hearken not to thee, know they not. They only follow their own lusts. And who is more astray than one who follows his own lust, devoid of guidance from Allah? For Allah guides not people given to wrongdoing. Now have we caused the word to reach them themselves, in order that they may receive admonition. Those to whom we sent the book before this, they do believe in this revelation. And when it is recited to them, they say, we believe therein, for it is the truth from our Lord. Indeed, we have been Muslims bowing to Allah's will from before this. Twice will they be given their reward, for that they have persevered, that they avert evil with good, and that they spend in charity out of what we have given them. And when they hear vain talk, they turn away therefrom and say, to us our deeds, and to you yours. Peace be to you. We seek not the arrogant. It is true thou wilt not be able to guide everyone whom thou lovest, but Allah guides those whom he will, and he knows best those who receive guidance. They say, if we were to follow the guidance with thee, we should be snatched away from our land. Have we not established for them a secure sanctuary to which are brought as tribute fruits of all kinds of provision from ourselves? But most of them understand not. And how many populations we destroyed, which exalted in their life of ease and plenty. Now those habitations of theirs after them are deserted, all but a miserable few. And we are their heirs. Nor was thy Lord the one to destroy a population until he had sent to its center an apostle, rehearsing to them our signs. Nor are we going to destroy a population except when its members practice iniquity. The material things which ye are given are but the conveniences of this life and the glitters thereof. But that which is with Allah is better and more enduring. Will ye not then be wise? Commentary 175. Material good is nothing compared to the spiritual. In the hereafter, no plea that others misled will avail. Each soul must answer for itself, whether it honored Allah alone or worshiped something else, and whether it received or rejected the teacher sent by Allah. The wisdom and plan of Allah are beyond all praise. All mercy and truth proceeds from Him, and there is no other, none, besides Allah, or besides Him. Are these two alike? One to whom we have made a goodly promise, and who is going to reach its fulfillment, and one to whom we have given the good things of this life, but who on the day of judgment is to be among those brought up for punishment. That day, Allah will call to them and say, "Where are my partners whom ye imagine to be such?" Those against whom the charge will be proved will say, "Our Lord, these are the ones whom we led astray. We led them astray as we were astray ourselves. We free ourselves from them in thy presence. It was not us they worshiped." It will be said to them, "Call upon your partners for help." They will call upon them, but they will not listen to them, and they will see the penalty before them, how they will wish if only they had been open to guidance. That day, Allah will call to them and say, "What was the answer you gave to the apostles?" Then the whole story that day will seem obscure to them, like light to the blind, and they will not be able even to question each other. But any that in this life had repented and believed and worked righteousness will have hopes to be among those who achieve salvation. Thy Lord does create and choose as He pleases. No choice have they in the matter. Glory to Allah, and far is He above the partner they ascribe to Him. And thy Lord knows all that their hearts conceal and all that they reveal. And He is Allah. There is no God but He. To Him be praise at the first and at the last. For Him is the command, and to Him shall ye all be brought back. Say, see ye, if Allah were to make the night perpetual over you to the day of judgment, what God is there other than Allah who can give you enlightenment? Will you not then hearken? Say, see ye, if Allah were to make the day perpetual over you to the day of judgment, what God is there other than Allah who can give you a night in which you can rest? Will you not then see? It is out of His mercy that He made for you night and day, that you may rest therein, that you may seek of His grace in order that you may be grateful. The day that He will call on them, He will say, "Where are my partners whom you imagine to be such?" And from each people shall we draw a witness, and we shall say, "Produce your proof." Then shall they know that the truth is alone with Allah, and the lies which they've invented will leave them in the lurch. Commentary 176. Men puffed up with wealth like Qur'an are not pleasing to Allah. For wealth is for service, not for hoarding or show. In the midst of his pride was Qur'an swallowed up in the earth, and the earth knew him no more. It is the righteous that attain a happy end. Let nothing keep your eyes back from that end. Then, and only then, shall you reach the only reality, the glorious reality, which is Allah, who endured forever. Qur'an was doubtless of the people of Moses, but he acted insolently towards them. Such were the treasures we had bestowed on him, that their very keys would have been a burden to a body of strong men. Behold, his people said to him, "Exult not, for Allah loveth not those who exult in riches, but seek with the wealth which Allah has bestowed on thee, the home of the hereafter. Nor forget thy portion in this world, but do thou good, as Allah has been good to thee, and seek not occasions for mischief in the land, for Allah loves not those who do mischief." He said, "This has been given to me because of a certain knowledge which I have." Did he not know that Allah had destroyed before him whole generations which were superior to him in strength and greater in the amount of riches they had collected? But the wicked are not called immediately to account for their sins. So he went forth among this people in pride of his worldly glitter. Said those whose aims is the life of this world, oh, that we had the like of what Qarun has got. For he is truly a Lord of mighty good fortune. But those who have been granted true knowledge said, alas for you, the reward of Allah in the hereafter is best for those who believe and work righteousness. But this none shall attain except those who steadfastly persevere in good. Then we caused the earth to swallow up him and his house, and he had not the least little party to help him against the law, nor could he defend himself. And those who had envied his position the day before began to say on the morrow, it is indeed Allah who enlarges the provision or restricts it to any of his servants he pleases. Had it not been that Allah was gracious to us, he could have caused the earth to swallow us up. To those who reject Allah will assuredly never prosper. That home of the hereafter we shall give to those who intend not high-handedness or mischief on earth, and the end is best for the righteous. If any does good, the reward to him is better than his deed. But if any does evil, the doers of evil are only punished to the extent of their deed. Verily, he who ordained the Qur'an for thee will bring thee back to the place of return. Say, my Lord knows best who it is that brings true guidance, and who is in manifest error. And thou hast but expected that the book would be sent to thee except as a mercy from thy Lord. Therefore lend not thou support in any way to those who reject Allah's message, and let nothing keep thee back from the signs of Allah after they have been revealed to thee. And invite men to thy Lord, and be not of the company of those who join gods with Allah, and call not besides Allah on another God. There is no God but He. Everything that exists will perish except His own face. To Him belongs the command, and to Him will ye all be brought back. Commentary 177, Introduction to Surah Ankabut. Faith must be tested in the conflicts of practical life, but good can never be submerged. On the contrary, Allah will wash off all stains from those who strive and admit them to the fellowship of the righteous. Not so are the hypocrites and those who reject faith. Their hearts are diseased, and they will not accept the right, though a Noah preached to them for 1,000 years, or an Abraham reasoned with them on Allah's most wonderful providence. But the truth will ever search out the truth, and the truth will always prevail. Always. Ankabut, or the spider. In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. Alif, Lam, Mim. Do men think that they will be left alone on saying, we believe, and that they will not be tested? We did test those before them, and Allah will certainly know those who are true from those who are false. Do those who practice evil think that they will get the better of us? Evil is their judgment. For those whose hopes are in the meeting with Allah in the hereafter, let them strive. For the term appointed by Allah is surely coming, and He hears and knows all things. And if any strive with might and main, they do so for their own souls. For Allah is free of all needs from all creation. Those who believe and work righteous deeds, from them shall we blot out all evil that may be in them, and we shall reward them according to the best of their deeds. We have enjoined on man kindness to parents, but if they either of them strive to force thee to join with me in worship anything of which thou hast no knowledge, obey them not. You all have to return to me, and I will tell you the truth of all that you did. And those who believe and work righteous deeds, them shall we admit to the company of the righteous. Then there are among men such as say, we believe in Allah, but when they suffer affliction in the cause of Allah, they treat men's oppressions as if they were the wrath of Allah. And if help comes to thee from thy Lord, they are sure to say, we have always been with you. Does not Allah know best all that is in the hearts of all creation? And Allah most certainly knows those who believe, and certainly those who are hypocrites. And the unbelievers say to those who believe, follow our path, and we will bear the consequences of your faults. Never in the least will they bear their faults. In fact, they're liars. They will bear their own burdens and other burdens along with their own. And on the day of judgment, they will be called to account for their falsehoods. We once sent Noah to his people, and he tarried among them 1,000 years less 50. But the deluge overwhelmed them while they persisted in sin. But we saved him and the companions of the ark, and we made the ark a sign for all peoples. And we also saved Ibrahim. Behold, he said to his people, serve Allah and fear him. That will be best for you if you understand. For you do worship idols besides Allah, and you invent falsehood. The things that ye worship besides Allah have no power to give you sustenance. Then seek ye sustenance from Allah. Serve him. Be grateful to him. To him will be your return. And if you reject the message, so did generations before you. And the duty of the apostles is only to preach publicly and clearly. See then that how Allah originates creation and repeats it. Truly, that's easy for Allah. Say, travel through the earth and see how Allah did originate creation. So will Allah produce a later creation, for Allah has power over all things. He punishes whom he pleases, and he grants mercy to whom he pleases, and towards him are ye to turn. Not on earth, nor in heaven will you be able to flee to frustrate his plan, nor have ye besides Allah any protector or helper. Those who reject the signs of Allah and the meeting with him in the hereafter, it is they who shall despair of my mercy. It is they who will suffer a most grievous penalty. So not was the answer of Ibrahim's people, except that they said, slay him or burn him. But Allah did save him from the fire. Verily in this are signs for people who believe. And he said, for you, ye have taken for worship idols besides Allah, out of mutual love and regard between yourselves in this life. But on the day of judgment, ye shall disown each other and curse each other. And your abode will be the fire, and ye shall have none to help. But Lut had faith in him. He said, I will leave home for the sake of my Lord, for he is exalted in might and wise. And we gave Ibrahim, Isaac, and Jacob, and ordained among his progeny prophethood and revelation. And we granted him his reward in this life, and he was in the hereafter of the company of the righteous. Commentary 178. Worldly power cannot, through sin, defy the right, as was proved in the ministry of Lut. Nor can intelligent misuse stand in the place of Allah's light, nor can boastful insolence do aught but dig its own grave. The strength and skill, the beauty and power of this world's life are no more than a spider's web, flimsy before the forces of the eternal verities that flow from Allah Supreme. Now remember Lut? Behold, he said to his people, ye do commit lewdness such as no people in creation ever committed before you. Do you indeed approach men and cut off the highway, and practice wickedness even in your counsels? But his people gave no answer but this. They said, bring us the wrath of Allah, thou tell us the truth. He said, O my Lord, help thou me against people who do mischief. When our messengers came to Ibrahim with good news, they said, we are indeed going to destroy the people of this township, for truly they are addicted to crime. He said, but there is Lut there. They said, well, do we know who's there? We will certainly save him and his following except his wife. She is of those who lag behind. And when our messengers came to Lut, he was grieved on their account and felt himself powerless to protect them. But they said, fear thou not nor grieve. We are here to save thee and thy following, except thy wife. She is of those who lag behind. For we are going to bring down on the people of this township a punishment from heaven, because they have wickedly been rebellious, and we have left thereof an evident sign for any people who care to understand. To the Madian people we sent their brother Shuaib. Then he said, O my people, serve Allah, and fear the last day, nor commit evil on the earth with intent to do mischief. But they rejected him. Then the mighty blast seized them, and they lay prostrate in their homes by the morning. Remember also the Ad and the Thamud people. Clearly will appear to you from their traces of their buildings, their fate. The evil one made their deeds alluring to them and kept them back from the path, though they were gifted with intelligence and skill. Remember also Qarun, Pharaoh, and Haman. There came to them Moses with clear signs, but they behaved with insolence on earth. Yet they could not overreach us. Each one of them we seized for his crime. Of them against some we sent a violent tornado with showers of stone. Some were caught by a mighty blast. Some we caused the earth to swallow up, and some we drowned in the waters. It was not Allah who injured or oppressed them. They injured and oppressed their own souls. The parable of those who take protectors other than Allah is that of the spider, who builds to itself a house. But truly the flimsiest of houses is the spider's house, if they but knew. Verily, Allah doth know of everything, whatever that they call upon besides him. And he is exalted in power wise. And such are the parables we set for mankind, but only those understand them who have knowledge. Allah created the heavens and the earth in true proportions. Verily, in that is a sign for those who believe. Alhamdulillah. Well, may Allah make it easy for us. What a beautiful reading of the Qur'an. My brothers and sisters, those people who are deliberately trying to wrong or injure others will have to be treated firmly, as we are the guardians of each other. So, alhamdulillah. So, my brothers and sisters, inshallah, we have just now completed the 20th reading of the Qur'an, which in reality is the 20th night, and the night comes before the day. So we're in the 20th night of Ramadan, the 19th fast. Tomorrow is the 21st night, and after the 21st night, which will be the last 10 days of Ramadan. And as a reminder, on our last 10 days of Ramadan, we want to strive as much as we can to seek refuge from the hellfire. Ask Allah to seek refuge from the hellfire these last 10 days. So the first 10 days is asking him for forgiveness. The second 10 days is asking him for mercy. And now these third 10 days is asking him to seek refuge from the hellfire, inshallah. So these are blessings and benefits that we have during this Ramadan. And also as a reminder for those of you who have been very, very supportive, especially during these times, Ramadan times, you've been giving sadaqah every night. So I like to remind you every night in terms of giving sadaqah, go to FirstCleveland.org. You can pay your sadaqah through PayPal. You can go to $FirstCleveland, that is our cash app. Of course, you can go through Zelle, First Cleveland Mosque, and also you can pay through 3613 East 131st Street, Cleveland, Ohio, 44120. That's our mail address. You can send it there also. Also, a reminder that your annual zakat is due hopefully before the end of Ramadan. So strive as much as you can to pay your obligation, inshallah. And hopefully by Monday we will have this listed online, the calculation sheet online, inshallah. Also a reminder that the zakat al-fitr, those people who wish to pay zakat al-fitr, when you come into the mosque, zakat al-fitr should be paid on $10 per person per family. So inshallah, and hopefully we can feed a lot of people, from that. So may Allah make it easy for all of you, inshallah. And we want to extend our greetings to those people who are online, those people who wish to subscribe. You have a subscription list up top. Push the button and subscribe along with the First Cleveland Mosque. Our fast breaking time is 8:28, I believe, and so we have a couple more minutes in which we can break our fast. The readings have been a little bit quicker. So what we're going to do on tomorrow is we're going to start it at 8:45. So I'm sorry, 7:45. So when you come in tomorrow, you're going to come in tomorrow, and I'm going to immediately go into the Quran. I won't explain anything. I will go immediately into the Quran, and I will immediately finish. I won't be talking too much on tomorrow. It will be our 21st reading on tomorrow. So join us tomorrow at 7:45, inshallah. May Allah bless all of you, and may Allah continue to bless. Give you a blessed Ramadan, inshallah. I want to extend my greeting to all of you. Assalamu alaikum. And I want to do a shout out to my granddaughter Kai and my grandson Makai. Both of those are special needs children who watch our channel every night. And they always ask me about my reading, so I have to respond to them. Inshallah, may Allah bless.